is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be doing part 7 of the Suzuki gs500 mini buggy build. In this video we're finally going to get it running, and I'm going to drive it a little bit. And it's going to go up and down my driveway a little bit, and that's all I'm going to do. And then we run into a bit of a problem at the end. Alright, so a solid 2 days of wiring, figuring out how everything goes. I've done it before, and all it really was just trying to figure out how in the world I did it before. I had to lengthen a couple of these wires to go to the spark plug thingies, and right now the wiring is very jerry-rigged. I mean, it's stuffed. It's all stuffed right here in this corner. I zip tied these the ignition control unit to the shock, and really the only two things I have hooked up right now is the on. When I flip this switch, it basically turns everything on. Those are the brake lights. They're stuck on for now. When I pull, I'm not even going to try to find it, but when I click, or here we go. When I click this, they turn off. So yeah, this is for the brake on the handlebars. So this switch turns it on, and then this momentary push button kicks it over. So right now I have a tiny gas tank for this thing. This is just to, to test it, to make sure it will work. This is not the permanent gas tank. Eventually, hopefully, I will find a better one, a bigger one that will work a lot better. Hopefully, maybe a beer keg. That'd be pretty cool, but I'm not sure if it would fit. A mini beer keg, not a full one. A full beer keg would be a little bit too much. I also got the brakes done. That took forever and a day to figure out how I'm going to do that. I'm not sure if they work. I really haven't tested it. So far, I've only been able to hit the brake and try to roll this thing back and forth, and so far they seem to work, but I'm not really sure how well they work when I'm flying down the road going 60 miles an hour. So we'll find that out shortly. Unfortunately, I did have to put the whole, whatever this thing is called, right here in between my legs, but it works just great. Right now I have that zip tied to the steering thing. I'm ready to start it. I put some gas in it. I'm excited and nervous. So far I've only kicked it over with starter fluid. I'm not sure how well it will run, and yeah. Okay, I got some really good news. I did fix the front wheels. They're kind of still. They're not perfect yet with the angle of them. I also pumped up the tires, and now this thing's a lot easier to roll back and forth. Before, I was having to put all my weight into just rolling this thing forward, even on a flat plane. Now this thing, it's a lot easier to roll forward. I put 15 psi in the back, 10 psi in the front. I know it's a lot, but this is extremely heavy, and that improved its rollability a lot. So let's try it. See how well it improved. If it improved anything. Is it on? Let's go. Here we go. As soon as I start letting the clutch out, it just wants to die. There's like that much play in the gas pedal between wanting to die and like fully revved. This is a lot harder than it looks. Quit telling me I don't know how to drive a standard. I don't know how to drive a standard, but at least I can drive this. If it would run properly. So, attempt 2. And one thing I did notice, I did realize, is it's not getting any airflow and it's air cooled. So I am watching the temperature of it. It is getting a little hot, but not terrible. Okay, that's pretty hot. Yeah, around where the mufflers are, that's pretty hot. It runs a lot better on choke. Oh, I'm going up. Oopsies. Let's go that way. A little bit more. Okay, so we know it runs. It's kind of running a little bit poorly right now. Sometimes it would only run in when it was on choke. Right now the choke, I have this brake cable hooked up right now, and it's kind of just really janky. But so it would only run sometimes on choke, and then once it warmed up, then I could take the choke off, and then sometimes when it's too warm, it would only run on choke. It was kind of finicky. The first time I tested it, I was really disappointed. It really would not move. I kept killing it. I'm not sure if I'm going to add it to this video or the behind the scenes video, but I kept killing it, trying to take off. What happened was the front wheels were angled too much in, so it was, wasn't really working. Plus this tire was a little bit flat. They were all a little bit low in air, so therefore I filled the tires up, and it rolled so much easier, and it actually moved a lot better. Now, the engine wasn't running properly enough for me to actually get a full test ride. Hopefully I got some good footage of me moving at least, and me driving this thing. I'm not sure, I just got one angle with testing this thing, but right now I know it works, it's awesome. I got a little bit of footage of me testing it, so now what I can do is focus on neatening all this wiring up, hooking up the brake lights, hooking up the tail lights, one thing I really need to do is I need to find a small fan to put in between the seat and the engine to cool the engine off, because even that little bit of riding, it heated the motor up a lot. I didn't overheat it, thank God, but it did heat up the motor a lot, and I do need some way to cool it off. It's air cooled, so therefore I was running it with it just standing there, so it wasn't getting any airflow, so therefore it was just heating up quite a bit. Hopefully I didn't do any damage to it, but if I did, too late. So yeah, I'm loving it. I do really have to put on some mufflers. Now, I just have this thing straight piped right now, and my neighbors were giving me some dirty looks, so I brought it inside, and I quit for today. So, we know it runs. Now, in this video, I still need to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and hook up the brake lights, tail lights. Gas tank is fine for now. I mean, it's tiny, but it works. I need to find a bigger gas tank. It'd be nice if I could find a small beer keg. You know, maybe like I don't know if they make them like in 10-inch diameter. That's the biggest thing I could fit right here comfortably. So, but yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna start focusing on the wiring, get it all neat, and start hooking everything up. Alright, so I just got the fan installed. I wanted to see if it would work, so I rolled this thing outside. I started it up, and I wanted to see if the fan would work. It was running really well, so I thought, ooh, I could just take a quick test ride up the street. I was going to grab the cameras to film it, but I was thinking, like, oh, I'm just going to go up the street, come right back, it'll be really fast. I won't bother filming it, but something happened halfway when I was going up the street. I had gone up the street, gone on a little side road, turned around, came back. When I was coming back to the main road, I heard a hissing noise. I looked behind me, and there was just a cloud of smoke behind me. And I panicked, thought it was on fire. I shut it off, got out, looked at it. There's just oil pouring out of the engine. I have a pretty good idea where it's pouring out, but I'm not entirely 100% sure where it's pouring out. But yeah, there was a huge trail of oil behind me, and where I had parked, where I turned off the engine, there's just a giant puddle of oil just pouring out of this thing. It got everywhere. It's all over the frame, all over the brand new fan that I just bought, all over the mufflers. That's why it was smoking so bad. I'm really glad it didn't catch on fire. So yeah, that's an issue I have to fix. Really unfortunate. Alright, you can kind of see where it was squirting out. There's oil right there. There's oil all over the fan. There was oil all over the mufflers. You can see underneath this thing there's a puddle of oil right there. So I'm not entirely sure why it spurted out, but I have a pretty good idea where. So I didn't really want to say this in case it wasn't an issue. The oil filter cover right there, that round piece, when I replaced the oil filter, there's 3 bolts that put that cover back on, and when I was putting it back on, one of the bolts snapped. I was hoping it wasn't going to be an issue. I was hoping it would be fine, but I believe that that is where the oil was coming out of. There's only 2 bolts holding that cover on. There's supposed to be 3, and as you can see on the frame, I don't know if you can see that too well, there's just oil everywhere, dripping, and all over the brand new fan. Yeah, so really disappointed, really bummed out that that happened. Didn't really get to test how well the fan works. I have it hooked up. I mean, it blows pretty well. I mean, I'm not sure how well it's gonna work. The motor did heat up quite a bit, but it didn't heat up as much as it did last time when I didn't have a fan, so it did do something. But yeah, I have no idea how I'm going to fix that issue. I tried, when I broke the bolt, I tried unscrewing it. It wouldn't. I ended up stripping the thing out. I could not get it out at all, and I broke it even worse. So I can't put a new screw in there. I can't drill it out and re-tap it. There's just no way I can fix that. So yeah, I have no idea how in the world I'm going to fix that. Alright, so last night, I think I may have solved the problem. I'm hoping I solved the problem. So basically, that circular plate, that round plate, is where it's leaking from. There's supposed to be 3 bolts holding it on. There's only 2. So I added an exterior force to hold on the piece of plate. Basically, it's just that bolt that I welded onto the frame, and it basically is just pushing against the plate. I added a piece of rubber in between the bolt and the piece of plate to hopefully dampen the vibration of the engine. So I'm hoping this works. I'm hoping it's not going to break anything. I didn't tighten the bolt too much. It's basically just pushing against it a little bit. If it leaks a little more, I'll just tighten the bolt a little bit more. But I'm really hoping that this works. If it doesn't work, then I have no idea what to do next. So let's try it and see if it works. Yeah, engine on. So I'm kicking the engine over, and I'm seeing oil pour out of this thing. Yeah. Let me show you. Let me see if I can get this. Yeah. That stream right there is oil. So, did not fix the problem at all. Very, very unfortunate. Ah, crap. Alright, so bit of bad news. The fix that I did to the engine, that I was hoping was going to fix the oil leak that this engine has, it did not work at all. Let me recap a little bit in case you missed it. What happened was I finally got the engine to run, and it was running well enough. I wanted to take it up the street a little bit and just ride it a little bit. I didn't grab a camera because I didn't think that I would need to grab a camera, but I wish I did. So I went up the road, went down a little side road, turned around, came back, and when I was coming back, I noticed a hissing noise. I looked behind me, there's smoke, a giant cloud of smoke behind me. I panic, I shut the engine off, and I jump out thinking it's on fire, and there's just oil leaking everywhere on the thing. I actually took a picture of the road that I stopped at, that trail of oil behind me, and then you can see where I stopped and where I was like looking at it for a little bit. And yeah, it dumped a lot of oil on that road. I'm glad none of the neighbors on that road know me. So I thought I could fix it. I had an idea of what was wrong with it. There's a oil filter cover. There's only 2 bolts that are holding it on instead of 3. One of the bolts snapped. So I took I made like an external force to push that plate in to hopefully keep the oil in. But I actually just 5 minutes ago rolled this thing out, tried to start it up, and there's just oil pouring out of the engine again. So before I waste any more oil, because oil for this engine is not cheap, it's $10 a quart, and this engine I believe holds up to 2 to 2.5 quarts. So before I waste any more oil, I'm going to stop the video right here. I'm not sure what to do next. I need to find exactly where it is leaking from. I'm going to save that for the part 8 or something like that. So very unfortunate. I'm trying to figure out why is it leaking oil so bad. One thing I did have a thought of. What if like the oil filter is clogged with gunk or something to where there's nowhere for the oil to go in. It's just being pumped in the chamber for the oil filter, and then there's no way for it to be pumped out, so therefore it's just leaking out of it. I'm thinking that may be the issue, so therefore I kind of want to take this thing back apart to get that oil cover off to see if that's the issue, and I'm not doing that today, so I'm going to end the video here. If you guys know of a reason that this may be happening, again, it's leaking out of the oil filter cover. So if you guys know any fixes, any solutions, no, I cannot get the broken bolt. I cannot extract that. I tried. I just broke it even worse. So that's not a solution. But anyway, I'm gonna end the video here. Very unfortunate. Yes, we did get this engine running, but now I'm looking at how in the world to fix it. So I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and have a nice day.